So, alright, before I begin, I want to do something that is extremely out of character for me on this channel. I would like to encourage all of you to like and share this video as far and wide as you possibly can, because I think I've figured it out. The only way to save us, this is the last Hail Mary. This is it. We do this. If we, the people, can make this happen, I honestly think a lot of things go better. Or at least maybe they don't get any worse. Right? How does one really become an activist? I don't know, but I have an idea. I have an idea for law that I would like to see implemented. And no politician is ever going to contact me. Hey, I'm very interested in your idea. That is never going to happen. Never, ever, 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 ever. There is no politician currently in office that would support this. I honestly think there's no politician in office right now that would support this. Not a fucking one of them. But we the people, we should have this. This should be a grassroots to the people thing. We should make it to where they can't lie to us. I'm dead serious. I've been thinking about it more and more. The media and our politicians. Right? First of all, there should be a news network. If Fox and CNN and all the rest of them, if they still want to do their thing, fine, whatever. But they should be considered entertainment. It's more or less what they are. There should be one news station. It should be government run. And they should only be allowed to report the factual news. That is it. The reason they should be government run is because we, the taxpayers, should pay for it. Dead serious. The taxpayers should pay for one news channel that has no advertisement. That illegal for them to sell advertisement. No. We can't let you idiots do this shit again. Now, see, it was you assholes selling advertisement that made you want to be more entertaining in the fucking first place. No. We'll pay the tab. Right? You're not going to be making millions of dollars because fuck you. You're there to read the news. But nevertheless, right? One channel that's the news. Not government news. Not tailored by the government. It's going to be a separate body from the government. Kind of like our military. Kind of like the judicial branch. It's not going to have a role in politics. It's going to be there to report factual news. Because if they don't report factual news, those people get fired. Everyone along the chain. The producer who okayed the lie, the writer who wrote the lie, the fucking person who read the lie, they all go. You lose your job automatically. Zero tolerance. We can't have it. Because we need to have somebody that we can trust to tell us what in the fuck is going on. We must have an educated populace that has reality firmly planted in their minds. So where did you hear that? Oh, you heard it on Fox. Well, I haven't heard that. I don't listen to Fox because they lie. They're entertainment. I don't listen to CNN. They lie. They're entertainment. I listen to the news. That's how you find out what's really going on. Right? It's fair, isn't it? If you're going to work for the government news channel, you're not allowed to lie. I mean, our elected officials, they're not going to be allowed to lie either. Under this new way of life that we should enact, you can't lie. If you're caught lying, you lose your job. Zero tolerance. So, when all of those people came out and said, yeah, this inflation, don't worry about it, it's transitory, they knew. It wasn't. At the time, they knew. They lied. All those people should lose their jobs. They're not allowed to be on the news anymore because only fact tellers are allowed to be on the news. They're not allowed to be elected officials anymore because only people who tell the truth are allowed to be elected officials. You're not allowed to lie anymore. You lie, we find out, you lose your job. Right? Think about it. If politicians were not allowed to lie, if that got them fined, ejected, and whatever else, arrested if it's bad enough, I mean, they lie and people die. Cuomo should be in prison. Fucking flat out, Cuomo should be in prison. His dumbass aide came out and said, yeah, we lied about that, Colonel. And fuck him. From that point on, guilty. Do the investigation, and then fuck him. He goes to prison. Lots of people died. He should... It's his fault. He lied. Right? It would encourage them to make better decisions, and they wouldn't be able to do shit. I mean, look, this should just... Everybody should be on the side for this, right? Honestly, when it comes down to it, everybody should be like, that's a great idea. If you're on the left, you know, Joe Biden told you he was going to pay your school debt. Right? Whose fault is it that you decided to study fucking French art history as your major, and you graduated with a piece of paper that says you have a degree, you spent 4 years studying French art history, and now you can go into the world and work for AT&T, doing nothing with French art or history. Right? Whose fault is that? Obviously, it's the taxpayers' fault. So they need to be punished and pay your fucking debt. Right? They need to pay off all your debt because you were stupid enough to not do something useful. Right? Because colleges realize that people are stupid enough to take classes that don't have any use past college. Because it isn't important that you have a purpose. All that's important is you have a piece of paper. That's the only thing that matters. So we're going to charge you a couple $100,000, let you make a massive fucking mistake, and then we're going to have everybody else pay for it for you. Right? Joe Biden told you guys that shit. And he didn't do it. And he isn't going to do it. And they always tell you that shit. You want to know why? Because you're stupid enough to think they're going to do it. They're never going to do it. They lie to you. Somebody needs to tell you guys the truth. No, your mistakes are yours, and you're going to have to pay for them. Nobody else is going to pay for them. If every politician came out and said, sorry, we're never going to make this happen. You're going to have to pay your own fucking debt. It's a shame. Maybe you should have been an engineer. We always need more smart engineers. Or a doctor. Or a physicist. Or a scientist of some sort. Or a researcher of some sort. You know, you go to school to learn how to do a career. You don't go to school to learn how to fuck around and drink. But a lot of people are paying a lot of money to have a party. And then they're graduating and find out, oh my God, I actually have to be worthwhile in the world. What the fuck? They didn't tell me I was going to need to do that. They just said I was going to need a degree and I was going to make $20,000 more than anybody else. No. It's your fucking fault. You fell for the trick. You should be smarter. And I think if we had a group of people that weren't allowed to lie to us, we'd be a hell of a lot better at telling who's lying to us too. We'd have a baseline. And we'd have people telling us more factual shit. Like, you should really pay attention to what you decide to do with your life. And what you put money on. There's a whole lot of things, man, I wish I could get the money back for. But it ain't gonna happen. And that's life. Sometimes you buy dumb shit thinking that amazing things are gonna happen. And it doesn't fucking happen. And so you go, oh, that was a waste. And you're supposed to be smarter after that. Right? Like, I was looking at college. When I was 18, graduated from high school, I'm like, man, I'm totally thinking about going to college. I was going to go for performing arts. And then I thought, man, how much is that going to cost? And I looked at it. I said, no, because it's a very slim chance I'm going to actually get a job in performing arts. But I'd have had a piece of paper. I was talking to one of my sister's friends once, and I was laughing about the college people. I said, it's the dumbest fucking thing in the world, go to college. And this girl's like, no, it's a great thing to go to college. And I said, why? It's a huge debt, and you come out of it and don't do what you're trained to do in college. And she said, well, it's not so much what you go to college for. You go to college to get the piece of paper to prove that you're trainable. And I said, you know, trainable is slang for a slow person, like a retarded person. Slang for a retarded person. I mean, in the sense of a retarded person. Right? Like, trainable. That's what... who brought the trainable? Like, she didn't get the joke. But I'm like, who isn't trainable? Dogs are trainable. Pigs are trainable. Shit, we can train dolphins to do stuff, and they're not even land-based creatures like us. Yet they can learn. Anybody can learn. I mean, think about it. What job shy of engineering, architecture, medicine, research of some sort, science type stuff, right? What other than that shit cannot anybody be taught? Like, you go to school to learn how to do your career, business, right? If you want to go into business. And then it's not so much that you're coming out of it and proving that you're able to be trained. You come out of it fucking trained. Like, that was the idea. You go to school to learn how to do what you want to do for the rest of your life, and that is your training. And then you go out into the world and say, well, I went to school for this. And they go, great, you'll fit in here fantastically, because we do that too. And you're already trained. But they offered you dumb shit, and you didn't think clearly. You thought it'd be cool to study Russian poetry. Or transgender rights, or whatever the fuck. Instead of studying, like, the horrors of whatever the fuck woke thing that you want to think of, you should have studied law and learned the law and came out a lawyer. And then maybe you could do something about it. But you'd have to actually learn the law. That's the unfortunate part. And then you learn what the law actually is, and you go, oh, well, there's already laws against all this. Well, at least you're a lawyer, pays well, right? Like, when you do something that matters, and then you learn about it, and then you go, oh, what I thought before when I was a fucking child and I was ignorant, well, it doesn't matter anymore. But at least I have this thing I studied to fall back on. If you just study the problem, you don't learn anything, and then you don't have any future. You grow up. Like, college is where you send children for them to grow up finally. And it's got to start with your major, like the picking of it. Pick something useful. And then your debt won't matter so much, because you'll be working at a high level and making decent money, paying that shit off. Right? That's the truth. And we need somebody to tell people that. Somebody that people can trust. We don't have that. 2 videos, the question was, who do we trust? Fucking nobody. Can you name one politician that you honestly think has never lied to you? I fucking can't. Right? I loved Lauren Boebert until I started reading her tweets, and I'm like, oh, you're just an asshole. Because she's just an asshole. She just gets on Twitter. She's the right-wing version of AOC. She's no fucking different. She's just there to piss off people and get her side going. And awesome. This is who we need. These are our leaders. People that we vote in just to get us more upset and not like each other more. Why? Think about it. These people we keep being told work for us. Look at these motherfuckers. At any time you want to. And ask yourself, if I own a company and you were my employee, and I caught you in that lie, or I caught you doing that, or whatever, why the fuck wouldn't I fire you? Like, imagine if you owned a company and had 10 employees, and every single fucking one of them lied to you every day. Every time something happened, they just lied to you about it. Constantly. They almost never tell you the truth. How long would you be stupid enough to pay them money? How long before you'd go, I think I'd rather hire myself a truth teller here, and I'll fire some of you guys? Why do we keep voting these liars into office? They lie to us and we go, well, that's what politicians do. Because we allow it, dumb fuck. They're our employees. And I'm getting into the authoritarian nature of the government. If we're not smart enough to vote these people out, then we need to come up with laws wherein they cannot be these people. We need to make it to where they can't lie to us. We need to make that illegal somehow. How do we do that? I'm asking the honest question. How do I get into for real activism to get real change to happen? How do I get the bulk of the country to side with me that our politicians and our news media and our doctors are no longer allowed to lie to us? Because they are people we trust with our lives and with the lives of our children, and we need to be able to trust them. And since they don't seem to be trustworthy, and they don't seem to be wanting to become trustworthy anytime soon, perhaps we need to enforce it somehow. How do we do that? Honest question.